You see her? Did you just come in just to say hi? When? She wants attention. Hey everybody, my name is Nerdy Rana, and I have a lot of fucking makeup that I've been kind of sorting out. Believe it or not, I've actually kind of like thrown away some of my makeup because one, was either too old, two, they're just palettes that I didn't want in my collection, or I've deconstructed, so I like keep like a handful of the palette eyeshadow pans, put them in a Z palette, and then just get rid of the palette because like I don't need any more palettes. But I have found a really good palette in my collection, and it's a very old palette, don't get me wrong. This is probably something I should throw away, but I'm not throwing this baby away. I'm sorry. This is the OG old school palette, Gemini, from Melt Cosmetics. I love this palette, and I've really used her. See if I can do this without blinding you guys. I've used her quite a bit. Bonnie for sure, I have really showed her the love. However, with that said, the two shimmers in this palette are gross. Sorry, I hate these shimmers. These two shimmer shades are just chunky, and not in a good way. They're just gritty. They have this weird texture. They bring out really bad texture in your skin, and it doesn't matter if you have like oily combo, dry skin. It does not matter. For whatever reason, these two shimmers are just really bad. And ironically, it's Gemini, that pink shimmery shade. I don't even know if you can really catch that on camera. And then Goals, that green shade, which is a shame because I really like that color, but it's just, I'll swatch them, I guess. They just, ugh. Even touching them right now, it just doesn't feel right. So that's Goals, and it looks okay on camera, but like, I feel like the payoff isn't all that great. And like, do you see? It's kind of like chunky and like splotchy. I don't like it. So I'm not gonna get rid of the whole palette though, let's be real. And it's a shame because at first I was like, oh, maybe Melt just doesn't make really good shimmers. That's not the case. With the Smoke Sensations palette, they made really good freaking shades. All of these shimmers, like the two in the middle are mattes, but like all these shimmers are freaking awesome. Gravity OG, Granddaddy, and then that one is, I think, Black Widow. Yeah. And it's kind of chunky, but it's not nearly as bad as Goals for whatever reason. So this one's Mean Green. This one's a really good one. This one's Sweet Tooth. That is blinding as heck. And then this minty green one. That was what? Blue Dream. Beautiful shades. These shimmers work just fine. I don't know why the two shimmers in here are crap. Sorry, Mel, I love you guys. But for whatever reason, they did it right in the Smoke Sensations palette. No problem. But yeah, these two shadows, I want to do something about it because like those are just kind of sitting there. I try to use them and I don't like them, and I feel like it's a waste of space. So what I'm gonna do is kind of like take the shadow out of the pan and then make my own shimmer shades that are relatively close to the original. So these are two shades from ColourPop that I depotted from other palettes that I just didn't want to keep the palette, but I kept the shade. And I haven't really used them because they're not really in a palette, so I'm not really paying attention. Well, they're in a Z palette, but this is a pretty empty Z palette. I'm not really paying attention to it. It's just like a Mod Podge palette where I just keep shades there, see if I can use them for something later on. And I thought, well, I'll just take the crappy shadows out of there, the shimmer anyway, and use those. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't think all of this is gonna fit in there and like not have extra room. So what I'm gonna do is mix some sugar pill loose powders with these, and I'm gonna mill them up and then press them in there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take, what is this? So this is a green kind of shimmery type of color. I'm gonna mix it with this ColourPop shadow, mill it together, and I'm gonna take also this peach shade with also this shimmery peach shade, mill them together, and make better shadows. So I'm gonna take one last look at this palette. So we're replacing that one, and we're replacing that one. And hopefully I have shades that I can just use on a regular basis rather than being like, oh, those are there, I'm not gonna use them. I think what I'm gonna do is start with the pink one. Ooh. Ew. Huh. It's like really thick. Like, hopefully I can do this without making a mess. Like, huh. It's still kind of holding shape, which is really weird. It's like really, really chunky. To anyone who's like, oh, that's not very sanitary, I don't care. It's going on my eyes. I don't give a fuck. For the most part, if you could see that, it's mostly out. Yay! I'm gonna grab some like Q-tips, I think. I'm also gonna grab a trash can so I can like throw things away as I go. Got some Q-tips. And I'm just gonna gut them both at the exact same time, so we're doing surgery, folks. There we go, clean and pristine. Now we gotta get the other one gutted. And yes, my mirror, oh sorry, is broken. I put tape over it though, so it should be fine. Ooh, it looks like moss. Ace, get out of there. Try to get into the freaking trash can. There's probably gonna be a few people that are like, you're not using them right, that's why they don't look great, or they don't show up very well, or whatever. I don't care. A shimmer should be like the easiest freaking shadow to use. It should not be chunky, it should not be enhancing texture, it shouldn't be doing any of those things at all, regardless. Shimmers are supposed to just do their thing with very little to no effort, and I feel like every time I try to use them, they just don't look great and I get really upset. It also might be the fact that they're relatively old, but even when I bought these from the very beginning, they were as chunky, as messy, and just enhanced all kinds of texture. Hence why I'm getting rid of this crap. Sorry, Melt. I do kind of want to get the Smoke Sensations 2, which is a purple version of this, and it looks awesome. It looks so beautiful, and if they did this one right, I kind of want to get that one, even though I don't wear a lot of purple, but it's so pretty. Maybe I'll get it in the future. Not anytime soon, because I have a lot of makeup I'm trying to get through. Okay, we're gonna start with the pink one. I'm gonna throw in some Fever Dream, add a little bit of that into my little concoction bowl. I don't know how much I should use. And then I'm gonna take this pan and mill it up. Science. I'm just gonna eyeball it as best as we can. Add a little bit more of that. I say a little bit, but I kind of dumped a shit ton of that in there. Oops. Now I have rubbing alcohol. Make sure that this goes in the Gemini spot. Add my rubbing alcohol. I'm not doing this on camera because I don't have an extra camera and I don't feel like moving the camera around. I would not recommend doing this if you're not okay with making a mess, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm gonna grab a paper towel. gonna fold this a couple times. This to press into in here. There's the shade. And I have something to kind of like squish it in there. So we got Gemini all pressed in there. I don't want to handle it too much, but she be in there looking good. I do have a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the other shade. It should be fine as long as it dries out properly. I'm also using, what is this? This is 91 isopropyl alcohol, pretty strong stuff. I'm gonna use just a little bit of this stuff. This stuff is so freaking pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but like, it's like a gold green. This is Flora from Sugar Pill. I'm gonna mix it with this shimmery green, of which I don't know the name of. I just know it's from ColourPop. This is definitely going to be like a lighter green than the other one that was already in here, but I don't necessarily care. Looks pretty. I don't even know you can see that. Balls break. That's what I should have done. I should have added the rubbing alcohol little by little. I did not do that. And you're wondering as to like, why would you go through all this trouble? I've done this so many times with like broken highlighters and repressing them, because some of them I can't buy ever again because they're discontinued. So I have to figure out a way to get them back the way that they were. So I improvise a lot. Now that looks good. So long as it's kind of like in there, it should be fine. I'm gonna let these dry. Look at that. See if I stand up a little bit. Yeah, I got some rubbing alcohol and a few of them. It should be fine. It'll just dry up. It's fine. But yeah, there's Goals and there's Gemini, the new and improved. But yeah, good as new. I'm gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna swatch it, I guess. I'll give it probably 24 hours before I swatch it because I want to make sure that they set properly. And yeah, that took very little to no time to get done. I made a mess though. Yes, I did. Hopefully I remind myself to swatch those later. Like I said, I'm not going to swatch them right now because they're still wet and whatnot. I think I'll remember as I'm editing the video. I'll be like, oh yeah, I need to swatch that.
One eternity later.
Yeah, I did most of my makeup. And this is where we're at. I used most of this palette, but I haven't used the shimmer shades that I made the other day. And I'm literally making this to put a shimmer shade kind of on the lid. And it's right there. The Gemini, the new Gemini that I made. I'm just gonna kind of... I don't know how much you can see that. And yes, I used my finger. Get over it. It looks good. And do a swatch on my arm or hand or whatever. So here's my hand. Just gonna... Very shiny. But yeah, that's what they look like. And this is what they look like in the pan after drying for that long. So right there and right there. Gemini, Goals. Now I'm going to put some eyeliner because I look freaking naked without it. Not bad. And like I said, this is what the shades look like now. They're less chunky. They're a lot smoother. So I hope you enjoyed this video of me redoing those shimmer shades because they were not that great. Now they're better and they're more improved. They're probably not exactly the same shades as what they originally were before I gutted this palette, but hey, I don't care. It looks better. And can't wait to try out the green shade on my lid, because I think that one looks better out of the two. Because it kind of pops more, obviously. Although that pink looks really good.